Hi crafters and welcome to Technique of the Week. So today is Sunday, March 15th, and this might be a longer video, it depends. But what we're going to talk about for this week's technique is Retiform. Now, I haven't done this in a while, but Retiform at its most basic is just different shapes, and within the shapes are different colors. I'm sure I should have looked up what the actual name Retiform means, but that's what we'll do for now. We'll just kind of go with that, and I'll show you what I mean when we talk about a Retiform or a Retiform grid technique. All right, let me go ahead. I have a lot of different stamps out today that we're going to possibly use to show you this technique. What I'm doing here is I'm just cutting some masking paper into straight lines. Now, masking paper is pretty sticky, so when you go to use it, I always make sure, as I take the backing off, that I kind of go up and down a few times, just so some of that stickiness or some of the initial is done. It's a little less sticky. All right, but we want to have those straight edges because that Retiform grid technique really relies on those straight edges. And as you can see, I've already taken some of that paper off. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a shape. Now for this, I think that I will, and you can also do this on the back of your hand, on your arm. You can do it on your clothes. You just want to take some of that stickiness off. So I'm going to go there. Let me take another piece here. Get rid of all these backings. Let's do another piece here. Can't really see where that line is, that score line for the backing. Again, we're going to take some of the stickiness off, just so it will stick down a nice tight line, but it's not going to rip your paper. All right, let's go like this. And my last little piece, let's take this. Let's get some of that stickiness off. Ooh, and I've ripped it. Not good. Let's kind of go like that. And my last piece, I'm going to probably take this and just cut it a little bit down. Backing off, so of course I didn't cut it where there was one of the score lines. There we go. Let's go ahead and get some of that so it's a little less sticky. All right, so here we go. So what we're going to do here is I like to do about 5 different colors. Now, just for the sake of showing this to you, I'm not going to mix colors between warm and cool tones. I'm just going to do all along the same kind of color family. That way I can just keep a minimum of my brushes too. You could also use finger daubers if you'd like. It's going to give you a little bit more of a intense color. All right, so let's start. I'm going to start with my light here, and we're just going to go along those edges, go clockwise and counterclockwise, and build up that color. Let me leave this open. Oh, I have to be careful. Lost a couple of my nails, so it's hard to open up these stamp pads. And you really want to concentrate on some good color. Oops, shoot. I might have taken off too much sticky. You could also use Post-it notes if you want. I'll show you that in the next card. But let's go ahead and let's get some of that color in there. And then I'm also going to take, with that same color, I am going to take, let's see, let's start. This is on the last chance list. It's called On Display. So let's go ahead and let's use that for this card. All right. So in here, I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead in that same color and do some stamping. As you can see, it's a very light color. All right. Now we're going to peel up carefully. Put that over here. We're going to peel up carefully because we don't want to rip any of these. If it starts to act like it's on top of another one, then go slowly and make sure that you're not ripping any of your masking papers. All right, so now from this side, let's go ahead and let's do, we have this straight line here. So I'm going to put this as a straight line right on that. And then on this one, I'm just going to make it a little bit of a bigger area. We're going to go like that. I'm going to go to my next color. This is Azure Afternoon. And let's go ahead. Now remember, this is the one that I kind of peeled up a little bit, so I want to be careful to kind of not run the risk of going underneath that again. See, that's already coming up. Now this one, I think I'm going to leave for my words. So I'm not going to stamp anything in that area for right now. Again, let's bring this up carefully. Make sure we're going in the proper order so we don't rip any of those layers. And now we have this kind of weird look here. I think I want to go like this. We're just going to do a little tiny triangle. We want to block that off though. I'm just going to go with the leftover color on this. And then I'm going to take one of the smaller little stamps. Let's do the little flags. How about that? Little flags. And we'll stamp the little flags in there. All right. Let's go ahead and take that off. Now, I don't want to bring that line up because I'll make another little triangle. So I am just going to go along this straight line here and this straight line here. Let's go to our next color. Let's go to a little bit of a deeper color. Blueberry bushel. This is a very strong color, so you want to make sure to take some of that color off before you start blending it. Oops, want to make sure. Let's go like that. And let's do, how about, let's do the books. How about that? Let's go like this. Let's go like this. Oh, that wasn't good. See if I can get on there a little better. Let's go like that. All right. Kind of messed that up a little bit there. All right. Let's bring this up now. Let's get some of that ink off there. And let's go to our next section. All right, so right now, we still want to leave that covered up. We have this line here. Let's use this one because it's a little bit longer. Let's cover that up and go all the way to the edge. I think I dropped one of my little labels, one of my masking papers, which is bad on the floor because it's most likely you're going to pick up some hair. All right. With Midnight Misty Moonlight, I think I want to grab, do I have Misty Moonlight? Oh, I didn't put my Misty Moonlight back. Oh, here it is. I put in the wrong one. All right, let's put Misty Moonlight. This, I'm actually going to, just going to do a little brushing that way. There we go. Now, I think I'm going to have to get rid of this paper here because as you can see, it's starting to fray a little. Now, you're not going to get as smooth of a color as you do with your blending brushes. Let's see. And on this one, let's do, stamps are getting all over the place here. Let's do a couple bottles. How about that? Let's put these side by side. I think there's one more that's kind of a taller bottle. Trying to get them lined up somewhat. Let's see how that looks. That does need a little bit of re-inking. Let me bring this down so you can actually get their bottles. Take that off. Looks like we have just a couple more to do. So on this one, I think that one's getting a little bit used. Let's do this. Let's do this. And let's do this. Night of Navy, I think, is going to be way too dark. So let me go back to one of the other colors that we started over here. Let's go ahead and bring that out. Oh, shoot. Let me find a sticky edge there. Now you can reuse these, but you can see after a while they do lose their stickiness. So you do want to be careful about that. All right. That one I probably should have done a darker color. See how close it is to that color? Let me show you. Pretty close. Let me put it back on. Let's go ahead and do a little bit, another coating. See how we get with that. We'll really concentrate on that line there. I'm just going to do a little bit more down there. All right, so now that makes a little bit of a difference. On this one, let's do the cat. Let me go ahead, I'm just going to put this down here, just so we're going to make it look like he's laying on the shelf there. Let's go ahead and do it this way a little bit. And then we'll do one more over here, right on the edge. All right, and so here we have our last one, as you can see. So we're going to put this down here. It feels like there's just enough sticky left. This we haven't used too much, so I'm going to use that here. I am going to, where this meets here, I am going to put something here too, just in case. Now we know this is pretty light, so let's go back to our Azure Afternoon. Let me do this because I don't have anything really holding that card down, that card base. So let's do this. Getting really dark on those lines. Now I thought I would do 3 examples, but it looks like it's not going to turn out that way because this would be an hour-long video then, and I know I would lose you. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take that off for now. What do we want to put out here? What haven't I used? Have I used the bottles? Have I used the world? No, I haven't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the world, and that I'm actually going to do in Night of Navy, even though this is that Azure Afternoon. Oh my goodness. I think I want to do, let's do the globe in the Azure Afternoon, and we'll do the holder and the Night of Navy. How about that? So let's go ahead and go here, go here, go here. Let's go one right there. All right. Now, let me put this down so I can pick it up. So this is actually the holder of the globe. So I'm just going to kind of come right in. Oh, I was way off on that, wasn't I? Yeah, I know, it looks a little weird where you don't have the full globe. So let's go ahead and peel those off. All right, let me clean off my surface really quick here. Oh, let me really quick get some alcohol on there, just to clean up that glass surface that has a lot of ink on it. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's get one of these sayings. Let's do this one that says, "You deserve all the good stuff." I'm going to do that again. And the Night of Navy. let's grab, let me see if I can find. I'll just do a white base maybe, because this was done on ivory. And there you can see, there is your Retiform technique. Just using all of those straight lines. Now, you could also, if you wanted to, take cardstock and take a ruler, and you could draw black lines for your Retiform, or you could use your blends if you wanted to. One I like doing, let me grab my ruler really quick. And let me grab, let me use this one. So what we can do here is we could draw our line. We could then go into our Retiform look. And then use your post-it notes, your masking magic, your masking paper, and you could then use that. Now, post-it notes, they are a thinner paper, so it is likely that you could have it bleed through. So post-it notes you would have to change a little more frequently. And we'll see if we can do this fairly quickly. Now on this one, since you're using the blends to draw those lines, you would want to stay in the same color family. Otherwise, those lines are just going to look kind of wild while they're there. And again, I'm just going to do the Retiform technique here. I'm not going to stamp. I just want to get this through quickly so you can see that you could draw lines with your markers. Let me see, let me go to a deeper color here. See, and there's already that paper starting to give out a little bit. But if you're like me, I'm always adding post-it notes onto Amazon order, a Prime order, just to get it here quickly. Like, you know, when you have to hit that $25 mark, throwing in $8.99 post-it notes always fit the bill and can get my overnight order, as well as get more post-it notes that people, you always need post-it notes. Ooh, I don't know if this was closed from the beginning. We'll see. Oh, yep. I thought it was a little bit open, so I thought possibly it was going to be dried out. There, now see, I did. So when it starts moving like that, then you know it's time to throw that post-it note away. You can use the other side, but you'll have to hold on to it. So now that, let me go ahead. I was going to leave this blank in the middle, but since I have gotten some pink splotch in there, I do need to go ahead and cover it up. So let's go back over that. Let's go back to one of the lighter colors. Let's do Pretty in Pink, and I think I have a smaller brush. So I'm going back to a lighter color. Oh, I put the sticky down the wrong side. So if you make a mistake like that, you can come over and kind of try to correct it with another color. Now, as you can see, Post-it notes are a little more temperamental depending on what ones you've gotten than your masking paper. Your masking paper really, really fits the bill good. All right, I'm not going to finish this up. There's only 2 spaces left, but you can see, again, there's that Retiform technique. This one I went a little quicker, so it's not, let me put it up here, not as great. The lines aren't as crisp as here. I think the masking paper really works well, but the Post-it notes will do well even on its own. Let's say you didn't draw that line. Let's just put this down crisp here, because remember we drew those lines with the blends. Let's just go like this. And you can see that's a much crisper line when I didn't draw it with the blend. But this is a quick way to do your Retiform technique to draw those lines and mask off. Seems to go a lot faster than just putting down your masking paper. So there you are. Wow, what a mess. Here's your technique of the week, Retiform. Go ahead and give it a try. Tell me what you think about it. And any places here where you may not like it, where it looks too white, or in this case ivory, just go over it with one of your brushes. And you can smooth out that little area so it doesn't look quite so white. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Go ahead and give me that thumbs up if you don't mind. Share on your social media. Most of all, have a great Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.